So this video is all on how to train for your first triathlon. If you can go ahead and like this video as well as subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. It'll help the channel so much more. And just by hitting that like button, it'll make me take off in the algorithm into outer space.
And booster ignition, liftoff of Space Shuttle Discovery, taking the space station to full power for full science.
On track for its flight to the International Space Station.
And this video will get to even more people. That's how it works. So if you can go ahead and do that, that'd be great. Get this video more traction and get out to more people. So if you're interested in doing your first triathlon, you have come to the right place.
Go, end it.
Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're going to enjoy this video. It's all about how to train for your first triathlon. A very daunting thing, a little bit scary. It brings back memories from me long time ago when I was about 11 years old. Some good memories, some scary memories, a lot of different memories. I'll share some of those things with all of you. And yeah, just to kind of give you the basics on how you go about, you have this idea, I want to do a triathlon. That sounds really scary, but I'm actually intrigued and maybe I'm going to give one a try. Swimming, biking, running, going out there, being with other people. It's great to be able to do that, and it's an amazing, amazing sport. So I hope you're going to enjoy this journey on how you can train and how you can prepare yourself, both mentally, physically, everything all coming up. Okay, so let's deep dive into the content for this video. This is what you've been waiting for. Sorry, I had to do the whole intro and the whole, that's part of the process of YouTube. Yeah, let's not waffle too much. So we're going to head on to the first thing you need to do if you're going to do a triathlon, and that is have commitment. You've got to be committed. You decided to do this crazy idea of a triathlon, whether it's Olympic distance, Ironman, whatever it is, Super League, even really short distance race. They're coming out with some other races further down the line for age groupers and for everyone alike, not just for professionals. Commitment is number one. You've got to commit to what you're doing. You said you're going to do this triathlon. Commit to it. Every single day. It's tough. Triathlon is not a soft sport. You've got to be committed every day in, day out, going to do some sports. When you feel real tired, obviously you can take a break. It's your first triathlon. Don't get too overworked. I've seen a lot of people get really, really worked up doing their first triathlon, and they've gone way to the extremes. Remember that you're having fun. This is a cool experience. Of course there's elite. Of course there's pros. Of course there's lots of people there that might be better than you. Screw them. Screw those people. Screw them, screw those people. Enjoy it. It's your time. Have fun. It's going to be scary. And that's just it. So number one, commit to your training every day and commit to the plan of doing your first triathlon and training for that triathlon, Unfortunately, you can't just go and hit a triathlon out. You've got to train for it. I'm sure you can actually just go out and bang a triathlon out with zero training and no experience. But yeah, hopefully this video helps you to just gain a little bit of a mental aspect on what it takes to prepare yourself for triathlon. Okay, so the second thing you need to do to prepare for your first triathlon, and that's decide on the amount of training that you can do, something that's feasible. If you're working 5, maybe 6 days a week type of thing, you've got to calculate how much time you have to train. And I think there's no point in having this awesome training program when you can't commit to the training and then you feel stressed because you haven't trained and whatnot. Throw all that out the window, look down and say maybe you have 5 hours or maybe you have 10 hours in a week type of thing. You set that time aside and you can go and say, okay, I'm going to do, say, a swim on this day. The next day, maybe I'll do a swim and a run in the evening. The next day, perhaps you'll just do a bike. Try and spread things out in the week so you don't overload yourself. You're here to have fun. Triathlon, obviously there's training, but just make sure that you spread the week out. Know that you have obviously commitment, a certain amount of time. Be realistic on how much time you have to train. Running is your quickest bang for your buck. So if you're time constrained, running is the quickest one to go out the door and do to get fit. The thing is, if you're not from a running background, you can't just go straight ahead and start running every single day. You'll probably get injured. So remember that you've got to just work on the time that you have, and if you can only go out for a run or you can go out for an easy cycle, usually those ones time-wise are not too bad, and swimming ends up being very time-consuming. Drive to the swimming pool, then you have to get ready, get changed, go to the pool, swim. So it ends up taking longer time to get fit if you're doing your first triathlon to go and do some swim training than it is to do, say, some run training or some easy bike training. If you've literally got a bike at home, you can head straight out the door. Much, much simpler. Third important thing to know if you're preparing for your first triathlon, and that is to set a goal or set a race, some type of area or some direction you want to go to. So obviously, with there not being all that many races happening, this is now during the COVID period, perhaps you're watching this video in the future and there are triathlon races still happening, then yeah, you need to set yourself a goal, realize that you want to get to that goal, and obviously you'll be committed from the first step to making sure you train for that goal where you can get there and you can be comfortable when you go to your first triathlon. You want to go there and feel like, you've done some training, you've walked the walk, and now it's time to talk the talk. I think it's important just to make sure that you've set a goal. Even if you go into your own triathlon, you can go out. I mean, I did my own time trials. Here's the video to my 10K video. I set this race up myself, so you can set your own race up. But set your own race up if there isn't a triathlon race and you just feel like you want to do it. Go out and find a lake to swim in if you're allowed to swim in a lake. Do a bit of a swim, have your bicycle there with somebody looking after your stuff, don't want it to get stolen, then go for a little cycle and then go off for a run. There's nothing saying you can't do a mini triathlon before you do your first triathlon race, just to kind of feel what it's like, feel how weird it feels to go from a swim to a cycle and then afterwards go for a run. It's a very, very weird feeling if it's the first time you're going to do that, and maybe go ahead and try that a couple weeks out, 2-3 weeks out, maybe before your first race, kind of like your test first attempt at triathlon. I think that might be a great thing. Get you a little bit more, feel like you know what you're doing before you go out. And obviously you'll feel a bit nervous. People are watching you. Don't care about them. Do whatever you like. Go there and have fun. That's the main part. That's the main reason why you're doing it. Okay, now we head on to the essentials. The most, obviously, the gear, the bike, the running shoes, the swimming kit. All this costs a hell of a lot of money. And if you're doing your first triathlon, do you really want to go and spend tens of thousands of dollars or pounds or yen or Zimbabwean dollars or whatever your currency is where you're watching from on that type of equipment? No, you don't need to. I would not overspend on your equipment when you're starting out. You could lend a bicycle from somebody. You have a friend, maybe go and borrow a bike from somebody for a couple of weeks while you're training, or rent one. Just before you love this triathlon thing. Instead of spending lots of money, think money conscious wise, especially on the bicycle. I mean, the bicycle is the most expensive part of triathlon gear. You've got lots of money. If you're a millionaire or a billionaire or you've got plenty of money lying around, don't worry about going ahead and buying like the top of the range BMC with DT Swiss wheels. You can do that. So, if you've got money, go ahead, splash out, have fun. It's triathlon, you've got to have fun as well. So yeah, you don't have to splurge out unless you've got plenty of bucks. Then by all means do so. I'm not holding you back. So swimming gear that you'll need. Swimming goggles. Number 1, you can't see in the water without swimming goggles. Number 2, swimming cap. You really need a swimming cap. If you want to go swim in any pools or anything like that, a swimming cap is usually compulsory. Number 3, you'll need a swimming costume just to swim in, or you could swim in your underwear. But I would probably say costume is a better bet. Then you want to go and look at things like a tri-suit. You don't have to get a tri-suit, but kind of a one-piece suit that you can swim, bike, and run in will make your day a lot more comfortable. You'll feel a lot more comfortable than wearing a t-shirt and Speedo. I did race in a 2-piece, like crop top and a Speedo when I was growing up. I know, that's gross. I'll try and find a picture of that so I can show you. That's the swimming stuff more or less out the way. You can go ahead and get a wetsuit and all the fancy kicking boards and swimming toys and all of that, but perhaps just hold off for now if it's your first triathlon and just go ahead and get the essentials of swimming. Then you head on to cycling. I've said the bicycle. You'll need cycling shoes, you'll need a cycling helmet and some cycling kit, maybe 1 or 2 sets. You could also just cycle in your normal shorts. You could just cycle the normal t-shirt on. You could cycle in your running shoes. So you don't have to have specific tri shoes or specific cycling shoes. Go ahead, normal running shoes on flat pedals can work, but then it's a little bit easier if you're not a cyclist. So that's kind of the biking stuff, a little bit out the way. Water bottles, don't forget to have water bottles. You need to have hydration when you cycle and some nutrition. Always remember to take a little bit of food out with you when you go on your first ride or your first bits of cycling. You never know, you might get lost, you might get really hungry, so always take money, cell phone, and take some food with you. I always do that. Eat way too much, but and then number 3, running shoes. So on the running side, you definitely need running shoes to run with. and a set of running kits just for everyday training. You can go and, you don't have to have any fancy training kit. You don't have to have any fancy training shoes. You don't even have to have racing shoes. It doesn't matter. You can just go in normal shoes. I've seen people run in Converse, or people run in literally just normal skateboarding sneakers in a triathlon. So it doesn't really matter what shoes you have. Just, don't run barefoot. Although if you're an African or you're someone who loves to run barefoot, by all means, smash it out barefoot. So I'll be making some training plans as well coming up. I'm busy working on some 6-week and kind of like 10-week training programs, which you'll be able to order, which is great. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, that'll help everyone that's obviously starting out or wants to have some information from me, kind of how I train a little bit, and on how I train as well, and how you can implement that as well if you like. In the comment section, go down, tell me what type of training you might kind of want from swimming side, biking side, or running side, or the complete triathlon package. Head down to the comments and let me know what you think about that. With regards to training, I would definitely say to work on your weaknesses. So one thing for me in my swimming was, and probably will always be, my weakest discipline, and it's definitely something that I have to keep on top of. So if you've got, say, you can do 6 training workouts a week for the amount of time that you have, then you can perhaps look on doing probably 2 swims, 2 bikes, and maybe 2 runs, depending, kind of you break it up amongst all those 3 disciplines, and then you'll be able to prepare yourself the best, from all the different aspects of training, and you can kind of be as competent as you can over, say, at least 6 to kind of 10-week training program heading up to your first triathlon race. I think it's good to give yourself enough time so that you can be comfortable with the training. Yeah, definitely learn, tips and tricks from some professionals or some other athletes. So athletes are very willing to give up information and to just, help you out with a thing here and there. So don't be scared about asking athletes. I reply to lots of people on my Instagram. So if you have any questions, you can hit me up here on my Instagram channel, RD_Murray, and I'll answer any of those questions, as well as here on YouTube like usual. So as I was saying, working on your weakest discipline. So, if you come from a swimming background, perhaps your biking and running is something you would want to work on a bit more. So perhaps you'll swim then, say, once, maybe twice a week, and you'll do maybe 3 rides a week and maybe 2 or 3 runs in that week. So you kind of leverage more when you set out and put your training program together. So every week on the Sunday, write down the training you want for that following week. If you don't have a coach, write down kind of Monday to Sunday, and you kind of plot your training sessions out so that obviously you'll be more motivated to do those sessions instead of just kind of winging it and going, oh, what training should we do today? So it's good to have a plan and to obviously follow your plan, keep you more motivated and make things a lot simpler for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a bit of insight into preparing for your first triathlon. It makes you a little bit more calm, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more like you know what you should be doing to a certain degree. So if you've had any of those feelings, please go ahead and smash that like button. Hope to see you shortly in the next film. Cheers. That was a very lame ending again. Where was I? Oh yes, battery died halfway through this and I haven't even turned on my lights. Have a look. I think I'll make money. Maybe I will make money. Got it. Whatever. Let's continue with the video.